Welcome to
our chocolate factory.
Viva Physical Media, episode 69.
Nice.
Pretty nice.
Very nice.
Nice. Nice.
Nice. Very nice.
Nice.
It's nice.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
Nice.
It's also our holiday
episode.
/ end of the year episode.
Wow, yeah. That's why I'm well dressed up for like the holidays.
Who
That's
the
why,
fuck
and that's
are
why
you?
I'm
Who
here.
are you?
Yeah,
I'm
wait
right
a
in the
minute,
middle. You know
three?
who I am. I'm that guy that was here before, and now I'm gone.
The ghost of Kevin
That guy.
Clarke rejoins us for the
Yeah.
holidays. He's
I'm-
the holiday
I'm here to
spirit.
tell
We'll
you,
be visited by 3
you'll
ghosts
be
tonight.
No, just one. Me.
And it's
That's
just
it.
Kevin
Just
all
me.
3 times.
Yeah, but I'm wearing a wig once and a mustache the other time. You know, I've been in LA. I'm trying to get into acting, so I'm trying to work my.
How many Prices Rights have you been on?
Two. I haven't been on. I was in the audience twice, but
Do you know you're gonna get picked if you're the guy that gets picked on Prices Right from the audience?
when I've been the audience, I am not in the running.
I know,
to
but
get
do the
picked.
guys who get picked know?
Do they know they're going to
No,
get
they
picked?
don't.
That's actual surprise.
Yeah.
Did you see when
They
the
know
guy?
there's a possibility.
We're just talking.
Are you going to do one where you might get picked?
Well, I hope to. I
Good.
mean, yeah.
Okay. I would like to see that.
I'd be so bad at it.
I don't get paid for that though.
That's fine though. I
Yeah,
want
but you might win like a
new car.
A new car, yeah.
oven or a
Yeah.
new car.
I know.
Very cool.
Bum, 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 bum.
I know.
Well, happy holidays, you guys. It's a few days before Christmas.
It is.
A few days before
More importantly,
my birthday.
your birthday.
And also
The real reason for the season.
the reason for the season. What do we want to talk about? Our
Well,
fundraiser?
we're still fundraising.
We're still fundraising.
We're getting closer and closer and closer.
Yeah.
By the time you see this, we'll have a big match.
You want to talk about the shirt you're wearing, actually?
Well, this is the shirt that you get if you donate $150 to our fundraiser. You will get this fucking
it's
killer
such a
shirt.
cool shirt.
Designed by our own Brian Tice.
No, about
Do
the
it.
shirt.
Do it right now.
Why don't you guys wait? Pause this. Go donate.
Go donate, come back.
Come back.
Yeah.
Go get the shirt.
But also, like,
or if you're
by
on a laptop, just open another tab.
yeah, but
We'll wait. Okay, we're not gonna wait. Waiting game's boring.
But by the time you see this, we will have an additional $25,000 match.
Ooh.
Oh.
So, anything you're donating when you're watching this right now, if you donate $1, it's $2. If you donate $5,
Dude,
it's
yes.
$10.
Please.
Give us the match. We
Oh.
need your help.
Tis the season for giving, also.
Yeah.
And
You know what I
this
mean?
is our
You know what I
end of the
mean?
year fundraiser. But even if we're in the beginning of the new year, you know, maybe it's January 4th or 5th when this comes out, we are still fundraising for the next few days.
Yeah.
So don't hesitate. Your donation is doubled until the next few days. So please give us anything that you can spare. 50 cents a dollar,
if
$5,
your New Year's
$10.
resolution is to support more great causes, maybe to expand your physical media collection, or just like, I don't know, just like be a cooler, better person, you should donate.
Yeah.
And if you donate $10,000 during this broadcast, I will kill Kevin on camera.
All right. Well, it's not live, so
Yeah.
weird.
Wait, can I shave his head first?
No, after.
Yeah.
Okay, well there's that.
His severed head.
Oh wow.
So save that for the next episode.
Okay.
We'll save
great.
it. This will come out afterward, but this Saturday, which will be a Saturday long gone by the time you watch this,
Dogsmas?
was Dogsmas.
It went really well.
It went really well. Tons of dogs. Great photo booth setup. Also, if you're curious about the lore of Dogsmas and what that means, we'll put up which episode we talk about Dogsmas 2 Dogsmasses ago.
2 dogs.
We talked about it all.
Yeah.
We kind of like flipped through all
Yeah.
of the dog movies too.
Oh, that's right. We did a whole sort of Dogsmas
Recap
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get into a holiday dog movie a little later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Anything else on the agenda for the intro?
No, I think we need to skip to the show.
Actually, I do have something.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, what?
I have some gifts
Oh.
for you guys.
None of us brought gifts.
I know.
Wait, I gave you a T-shirt.
I love gift giving.
I know you do.
And I love
So-
gift getting.
So you guys,
It's a perfect match.
Hey, it says to Matt from Emalie, in case I forgot who it was from.
It's a little truck of the tree.
All right, Rich, you go first.
I felt like,
Okay.
yeah.
It's the Indiana Jones and Last Crusade storybook written by Anne Digby, based on a screenplay by Jeffrey Boehm, story by George Lucas and Menmo Mejia.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Yay!
All right, you go next.
Oh, I'm next.
I'm going last.
Oh, do you know what you're getting?
No, I
You
don't
seem-
know.
Oh, you just seem you're like being very bossy
I
about it.
just like to be last.
This was like a Christmas with Matt. You go now. Now you.
go.
Well, I don't have Christmas normally, so it's,
So you don't. So you're like kind of like.
yeah, I'm all weird about it. Oh!
I used to have this
Really?
when I was a kid. This is the E.T. storybook. Featuring photographs from Steven Spielberg's magical film. Aw.
Let me see. No, I mean, like, open it up.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's a book.
It's a book.
Oh, wow, it's got, like, a lot of
It's
text
the
in it.
story.
It's this whole story.
Who's it written by? I mean, I guess it's. Let's see. By
It's
William
by E.T.
Cotswinkle.
Kotzwinkle, based on a screenplay by Melissa Matheson. R.I.P.
All right.
There he is getting off the ship. These guys playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I just figured everyone needed to read a little bit more, you guys.
Ooh, Ghostbusters 2! Storybook by Jovial Bob Stein.
Oh.
I wonder if that's the same
It is.
R.L. Stein.
It's R.L. Stein. He also
Wait,
wrote the
it is?
Spaceballs
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's where he got to start, was writing adaptations.
Jovial Bob Stein.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I just, we watch a lot of movies here, and I know you guys, I feel like maybe reading's on the agenda.
Thank
for
you. I
next
haven't read
year.
a book in years, so this is going to be great. And it's good to start easy with a book of a movie I know,
That
so
you
I can
know.
skip words that are too big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I still know what's going on because I know the
And
plot
maybe
of the
you'll
movie.
pick up on some subtleties that you never really
Right, like
found before.
some nuances.
This is amazing.
Nuances.
I would bet that this script is
Well,
better
look
than
at,
what
look at
ended
this
up happening
wacky,
in the
like,
movie.
slimy border of these photos.
All right.
Good stuff. Thank you,
Aw,
Emily.
Thanks,
You're
Emily.
welcome.
Well, Merry Emily's Miss. We all
Merry
owe her so
Emily.
many
Thank you,
Emmys.
Emily.
Merry Emmys Miss.
Yes, you're welcome.
Someone's gonna
Nailed
get
it.
some gifts next show, probably.
You guys all better come with 3 gifts for me. Each 3.
Just like Christ.
Just like, I want fun.
I got frankincense.
Yeah, I've got myrrh.
Oh,
Kevin's
Kevin's
got
got
gold.
I
gold.
really should have done that.
You have to do gold.
That was terrible.
I was trying to go silent night,
good.
you
I
guys.
was doing that.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody! So we reached out and we asked you guys to send us either your best of 2023, your best physical media discoveries, stuff like that, and you guys delivered. We got 6. I think.
Literally delivered.
You delivered the mail
Yeah.
to us.
They actually literally brought them in. Here you go. Here's my list.
That's my list.
Electronically.
What are you doing?
I'll see you later in the past when mail was a thing.
Is that your old time mail?
That's my old mail
man?
guy. Yeah, I'm dropping off a
Alright.
letter because I'm from the 1940s. Good day. And then he turns to dust.
The 1940s.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Okay.
World War II is maybe going on or not, depending on
It's gonna happen
what
soon.
part of the decade it is.
Watch out.
It's going to happen soon or just ended. Goodbye.
This email is from Erica Schultz. Favorite new watches,
Hi,
2023. Okay, she gets right into it. There's no greeting. We're going in. We're going in, you guys.
No,
Favorite
hello.
new watches 2023 starts out with Kansas City Confidential from 1952. Van Cleef is always a snack,
Agree.
but
I
this
agree.
is a whole new level.
Wow.
My favorite actor.
I love it. All right, number 2. Patty Rocks 1988. Random find during a Chris Mulkey binge. Bonus, he shows his cock in this. Oh, I hated saying
Twice.
that.
It says twice.
I hated saying that. I don't like that word.
But we
If
loved
it-
hearing
If
it.
it says
Came
cock,
out of my
if it
mouth.
says cock in any of the other ones again, I'll say it for you. So.
I could say wiener or thingy. Okay, then Iga.
Oh, I saw this for the first time this year
2012.
too.
Oh yeah? I didn't know what living was until I saw a housefly training montage.
It's so good.
Is it?
It's a movie by the guy who did last year's mega hit
RRR.
RRR.
Yeah.
It's about a guy who dies, but he's reincarnated as a fly, and he gets revenge. It's like a revenge movie, but he's a fly, and it's a Bollywood movie, an Indian movie, so it also has like musical numbers and a training
That's
montage
right.
with a fly where he's like lifting little weights and shit.
That's cool.
It is fucking awesome. This is a great pick.
It was the very first movie I saw at my very first Fantastic Fest.
Was it?
Ah.
Yeah.
Then we have The Sea and Poison from 1986. This one will bum most people out. Plus, it has real surgery footage, so it's not for most
Well, it
people.
won't bum me out then.
Sign me up. Wuthering Heights 1988, directed by Yoshishige Yoshida.
I need to see this.
A Japanese art house adaptation of one of my favorite 19th century novels, and it has necrophilia.
Oh, I've got to see
Erica,
that one.
you sound really cool. I also want to see that.
That looks good.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, Erica.
Love it.
Try
Thank
love
you.
It.
This is from Nick
Oh, Nick.
Deadish.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
He's a regular
writes it.
contributor.
Oh, I didn't.
He's a regular contributor,
Then maybe I'm sorry. Then maybe I've. Look, I've been gone for a while. Hey, Viva! Just stopping by to say happy holidays and thanks for another year of stellar content. As a person chronically ill with long COVID and forced to spend a lot of time indoors, I'm very grateful for y'all's virtual company.
We're very grateful for your company too, Nick.
Yeah, sorry you're going through that.
Also, since you asked, smiley emoji, my 5 favorite physical media discoveries of 2023.
Yay.
Metrograph's stunning new release of Hu Xiaoshen's Millennium Mambo.
That's at my house right now. I rented it.
Great movie.
It's a gorgeous movie that I think
I'm
is
so
boring.
excited.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I love it.
No, but like, oh man, she's gorgeous in it. Kino Lorber's Blu-ray release of 1997 Harvey Keitel Stephen Dorff crime gem called City of Industry.
We need to do that on Sick
Highly
You.
recommend
Yeah.
this film.
Yeah.
I should go.
We'll
Yeah,
throw
that's
that
probably
on
been in. That's probably come
podcast.
up before, but it's been it's like
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah,
do something
yeah.
else. Kino Lorber's much-needed Blu-ray of Dave Foley's underrated The Wrong Guy.
I haven't seen that.
Movie.
Hilarious film.
Warner Archives repackaging of The Blue Knight, an excellent William Holden TV movie cop saga. Number 5, Vinegar Syndrome's limited release of Ringo Lam's Burning Paradise. Oh yeah, that's a good one. If you haven't seen it, it's a Wuxia Temple of Doom and it rules. That's true.
It's pretty awesome.
I love Temple of Doom.
Anyways, hope you and yours have a safe and wonderful holiday, Nick. Well, thanks, Nick.
Yay.
Oh, some Troy.
Hi, Troy.
Hi, Troy. Happy 2024, guys, says Troy Barber. We are looking forward to another year of fun movie talk from the VPM crew. So are we.
Yeah.
I checked my notes and saw I rented 60 movies from Scarecrow
Hell
this
yeah.
year.
Now
Here
remember-
are some faves.
Just to remind you, Troy lives in San Francisco, and Troy is like one of
And
the
he
first
still
and one of the
rented
best
60 movies.
rent by mail customers.
Yes.
And Scarecrow does have a rent by mail program, and so that's a good reminder that hey, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I want to watch some of these movies, but where am I going to get them? You get them here. You just get on the clicky click and tappity tap
Clicky-click?
and
And zoomity zoom.
And then the 1940s guy goes, here's your videos.
Here's
and
your
turns into
videos.
dust.
Be like Troy.
Be like Troy.
Be like Troy.
So he
like
says,
Troy.
here are some faves. The Coca-Cola Kid, underseen Aussie gem with its own catchy Coke jingle, seriously fun.
Guys,
Great.
I haven't seen any of these recommendations. I'm really excited.
Great movie.
Flirt from 1995.
Yeah.
Troy's partner's first Hal Hartley and not their last. Absolute Beginners, weird stylized musical with Bowie and Sade set in 58
What?
Soho. If you've seen The Souvenir Part 2, there's a whole reference to
I
filming
have.
that movie in that. Fear is the Key. Thanks, Matt. You're welcome, Troy. Linda, 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 a charming Japanese girl band. Warning,
Yeah.
it will be impossible to get that song out of your head afterwards. I have seen this movie. He's right. Surf 2, the end of the trilogy.
Yes.
Maybe a future raunch, Emily?
maybe.
See the director's cut
If I
with
ever
less
get to
boobs, more art.
Huh, interesting.
A couple of Romero's
Sacrifice.
comedies and proverbs, The Aviator's Wife and Boyfriends and Girlfriends.
Yes, huge Romer fan.
The green-blue combos in this one are out of this world, he
Romo
says.
rules.
Queer highlights. Westler. Charming, low-budget queer romance on both sides of the Berlin Wall. That's new to me. I haven't heard of that.
Cool.
Benediction, Terrence Davies' swan song, R.I.P. Thanks for having this, he says.
I love Terrence Davies.
Killer Condom, another low-budget German one. Menacing condoms with teeth, trust me, it's hilarious. Kinda as if your favorite drag troupe put on a show. A couple spaghetti westerns, Cutthroats 9, thank
Yes,
you, Emily, he
love
says,
it.
and
You're
Banditos. I'm a big fan of Banditos myself. Giallos, The Sweet Body of Deborah, Jean Zarel, and the costumes are both looking swell. Death Walks on High Heels and the Bloodstained Butterfly.
Wow.
Cheers, Troy in San Francisco. P.S. Please don't consider this list final, as we have a few discs in the mail arriving soon, including the Seattle-based flick Year of My Japanese Cousin, so who knows?
Cool.
Thank you, Troy, as always, for another tremendous mailbag entry.
That's so good. There's so many good recs on that. All right, we have another
I'm just
regular.
here all of a sudden.
Connor Holt.
Oh.
Oh, Connor
Writing
Holt.
in. Hi, Viva team. Here are my top 10 favorite films of 2023. Unicorn Wars. Past Lives.
Yep.
I love Past Lives. Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
Barbie.
Yep.
We were just talking about that. Robot Dreams. I'm reading these like
I
I'm
did not see
I'm
Robot
announcing an Academy Award nomination.
And the
Robot
winner is
Dreams.
Jessica Chastain is going to say who the winner is at the end.
Warren Beatty's going to say the wrong winner.
I would be such a good announcer. Joyland.
You are such a
The
good
Eight
announcer.
Mountains.
Ooh, I really liked that.
I've
That
heard
was
that's
good.
great. I haven't watched it yet.
Dream Scenario. I haven't seen that yet.
I didn't like that one.
May December. You like that one?
I did.
Talking about that was a good, great movie.
Zone of Interest. You guys were just talking about that too.
Yep. Two of my
Also-
favorites of the year.
Here are 10 of my favorite first watches of 2023.
That's the juice.
That's where we get into the nitty gritty. Shane.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, stop stabbing me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually have never seen this, but I've looked at the spine of this movie so many times, like since I was hired here, and I always think it's so fucking funny. Number 3, Northern Lights.
Oh, yep.
4, Kanoa, A Shameful Memory. Car Wash. I'm gonna have to look some of these up.
good.
Radioactive Dreams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've
good.
not seen that one.
Odds Against Tomorrow.
Ooh,
yeah.
just it's coming out on Blu-ray soon too.
Ooh. Punishment Park. Fantastic.
Oh, hell
Talked
yeah.
about that on Viva.
We did that on the show, yeah.
American Pop.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Back sheet.
And Long Live Physical Media and Scarecrow Video.
Oh, thanks, Connor.
Thanks, Connor.
Hey, it's our old friend Dan Gorman.
Yeah, these are some good
hi, Dan.
regulars.
Here's some lists for ya. There's a lot of exclamation. Keep up the great work. Favorite first-time viewings. He spells it with a U because he's from Canada. Kanesataki, 270 Years of Resistance. Boy, that's like... The hard part begins
I just watched this.
1973.
That was good.
Okay.
What is it?
The hard part begins. It's a Canadian film about a struggling country music singer. It's
Oh,
really
cool,
good.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the sound of that. Remember My Name, 1978. FX2, 1990.
Oh, The Deadly Art of Illusion.
But two.
But 2.
Which
No,
is better.
That's what it's called.
Oh, is it? I thought the
Yeah,
first one
FX
was
is just FX.
Yeah.
FX2 is called The Deadly Art of Illusion.
Shogun Assassin, 1980. Yeah,
Okay.
I do love Shogun Assassin, even though I think they're better as separate movies. But the first Shogun Assassin is better. The Cat, 1992, which I did
masterpiece.
in our second episode,
No, I
I
love
believe.
it. Oh,
here.
yeah.
Razor Sharp with an E, 2001. Light Sleeper,
Covered on this show.
Amazing.
Dance Me Outside from 1994, Mi Vida Loca from 1993. My top-rated 2023 films via Letterboxd. Didn't end up seeing a ton this year, so some of these inch into 3-star territory. Haha. Spider-Man
I get it.
Across the Spider-Verse, The Killer, May December, still a Michael J. Fox movie. Barbie, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. That's my personal pick for surprise of the year because
That movie
I
is
did not
so
think,
much fun.
I did not think I
Is
was
it?
gonna like it. From the trailers, I was like, "This is gonna fucking suck." And we went to $6 Tuesday at Majestic Bay, and I was like laughing immediately, and I was like, "Great!" And then you watched it later because I recommended
I totally
someone else
agree.
did.
You both told me it was good, and I watched it at
Fine.
home when it went on VOD, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is actually good!" And I've seen it 3 times this
And if you
year.
can win Matt over with a movie called Dungeons and Dragons, you've done a pretty good job. Please don't destroy the treasure of Foggy Mountain. I still need
So
to watch
funny.
that.
Love it.
Quiz Lady, No Hard Feelings.
I enjoyed that.
Loved it. That was
Oh,
good.
yeah, that's really good.
Jennifer Lawrence, great. You're so not invited to my bat mitzvah.
I still haven't seen that either.
Not
That's Adam Sandler's kid.
Yeah. And finally, that was a movie I saw movies of 2020.
Nice. Love it, love it, love it.
The straight to VOD remake of River Wild starring Adam Brody and Taron Killam.
What?
Brody?
Pet Cemetery Bloodlines.
Brody?
Okay.
Okay, I heard actually that was good.
I heard it was bad.
I've heard both.
Stephen King walks
guess I've
into the boardroom, writes "Pet Cemetery" on the whiteboard.
They go,
S $. There you go.
Here's Bloodlines, S
Yeah.
dollar sign. Boston Strangler, Reptile, Tetris, The Exorcist Believer.
I
I've
watched
seen
that.
none of those
Dan
movies. Happy New Year to Matt, Emily, Rich, and that other guy. Scott Baker's top 10 of 2023. Number 10, When Evil Lurks. Number 9,
Yeah, I love that movie.
I'm still too scared to watch it.
Loved it.
I Am the One Who Thought It Wasn't Very Good.
I know, it's okay.
Number 9, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Great. Number 8, May December, my favorite film of the year. Number 7, Infinity Pool. Number 6,
Yeah.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Number 5, They Cloned Tyrone. I need to watch
I
it.
still
Still
haven't
have
seen
not
that
watched
either.
that either, yeah.
Number 4, Shin Kamen Rider. Number 3, No One Will Save You.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Number 2, Killers of the Flower Moon. And in a surprise coup, number 1, The Venture Brothers, Radiant is the Blood of the Baboon Heart.
Wow.
Which
So
I
Scott's the one who saw that.
I watched it.
Oh, okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it had been long enough away from the show that a lot of the jokes were probably lost on me. And some discoveries. The Killing of Two Lovers, Cure from 1997.
I watched that for the first time this year, too. Great
Good
too.
movie, yeah. Sorcerer, of course, a
Amazing.
great film.
Absolutely
Woman in the Dunes,
Oh,
Really
great.
good.
Oh,
Masterpiece.
I watched the other two, but yeah, fucking masterpiece.
First Reformed, The Man from Earth,
Wow.
Guzu, The Thing Forsaken by God, Part 1. I am not
I've
familiar with
heard
that
of
title.
that, but I don't now. I can't remember what it. But that's,
I don't know.
I'm like, that's yes, I know that.
Mysterious Skin, Gregor Rocky. The Night Strangler,
Yeah.
Blue from 2002. Is that the... Yeah?
No, he was long. No, Kieslowski was
That was
long
not the
dead
Kieslowski.
by 2002.
Yeah. Sakura no Sono, Whispering Corridors. Love, Scott.
I am
Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you,
excited.
Scott.
Maybe-
So this is a question that unfortunately we kind of can't answer. Could you share which Seattle set or shot movies are rented most frequently from Scarecrow? More specifically, what's the turnover on something like Sleepless in Seattle? How about Sleepless, the Jamie Foxx film, in Seattle? Anxiously awaiting answers in Austin, William Goss. Okay, so the way that our system is set up, we actually don't have those numbers. We don't know. And even if we kind of did have some inkling of what they would be, the way that it works when we add new titles to the system is sometimes we recycle old numbers. So the rental histories for new releases are sometimes tied to SKU numbers for older titles.
Not as much
now, but it
anymore,
used to be
but
that
it used to
way.
be. So there's
You
still
can find the number of times it has rented.
yes.
But in order to compare, it would also depend on if there are multiple copies.
Yeah. And I don't-
Blu-ray and DVD.
I don't think there's any way
and
for our old
we
system to
used
run that report.
Yeah.
In the old days, when we would have, say, 10 copies of a movie, like in the glory days,
Yeah.
and a new release, and so it's whatever, and
Yeah.
we finally break that down to one or two. They used to combine all the info for all of them. So when you look at the rental history of
It would
the
just
one,
be for the title.
it would be like it rented out 5 times in the same day because that's all the former rentals. So that's good, but that wasn't always the case.
Yeah.
And so the problem is we have such a long history as a store with various levels of inventory,
And 3 different proprietary systems.
in 3 different
Yeah.
proprietary
And then even
systems.
to do that, we would have to write down. We couldn't just generate a report comparing them either. We
No.
would have to go through each individual title, write down the
Right.
numbers and
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And
So-
our new system right now carries over no information
From the
over
old
previous
system.
renters. So if we look at our POS system right now, everything is nothing's rented hardly because whatever. But we have the old system we can still look at. But
And then we have the older.
And then we have the
I don't
older,
know
older
if we
system.
have the
So,
older
long
system.
story short, we don't have a good answer for you, and it was a stupid question, so sorry about
But
that. Will.
I
Get
think
fucked,
people.
Will Goss.
Yeah.
I do think people rent singles a lot.
Yeah,
Oh,
good,
yeah.
good point.
Yeah,
That's what I have to
the,
say.
the Seattle movies do rent, like the
All
very
the time.
famous ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
About a Son. There, that's the one.
No, that's the one.
It's Mission Impossible 4 because of the scene that takes place in Seattle at the end, but is filmed in Vancouver.
Sure.
Everything is.
Anyway.
Cool. Well,
Anyway,
that's,
hi, Will.
I will. That was a great mailbag.
So we're gonna start off doing a few of our favorite releases on physical media
Yes.
this year. The movie didn't necessarily have to come out this year; it just had to be physically put out in our store this year.
Our favorite physical media releases of 2023.
Yeah, here's just a few.
Go.
My first 2023 release is the movie Corsage. Came out or it was made in 2022.
Really good movie.
Really, really good. Directed by Marie Kreutzer. It stars Vicky Krieps. I don't know.
Creeps?
Creeps.
Cripes? From
She
Phantom
was
Thread.
from Phantom Thread.
Crepes.
She was great. Crepes.
And from The Beach That Makes You Old.
Old, yes. The beach that makes you old. This is about Empress Elizabeth of Austria, who I wasn't familiar with until after I watched this movie, and then I just Wikipedia'd her all night long. She is a woman who is approaching 40, and she's feeling like she's losing her beauty, even though she's like absolutely gorgeous. She's just kind of dealing with the fact that although she has basically everything she could ask for, she is being judged.
Hört sich einfach nicht.
Was ich gehört und was nicht, das werde ich mir bestimmt nicht von meinen Kindern sagen
Bei
lassen.
aller Hochachtung, Mama. Das Kind bist du. Wenn du jedem Impuls, jeder Laune nachgibst, ohne an deine Rolle zu denken.
People are being like, why aren't you coming to public events? She's going through insecurities and also with like her relationships. It has a similar vibe to Marie Antoinette in the style. The stylized version of it, they use some modern songs, and it just kind of shows the oppression of women, but it's at a completely different time in a woman's life that this is kind of reflecting. And it's also really sad too. It's really, really good, and I definitely recommend it. Corsage.
Ihr Teint hat sich verändert, Majestät.
Ich war viel an der frischen Luft.
Nein, das meine ich nicht.
My first pick is probably my second favorite movie of the year.
Hey, we watched this together.
And actually, Emily and I watched this together. It was the opening night movie for SIF, and Emily was kind enough to invite me, and it was a great fun party, and it was a lot of speeches before the movie started. But then I absolutely loved the movie. From Celine's song, and with an amazing performance by Greta Lee in the lead. This movie is the definition of subtle. It's very quiet. It's sort of a movie about these two kids who knew each other in Korea.
난 맨날 너 때문에 2등하는데 나 안 울잖아. 처음 날 이겼는데 네가 울면 내 기분이 어떻겠냐? 또라이야.
She moves away. They come back in touch later, and they're kind of it's not even, it's like a romance, but not even. It's more like a friendship at times, but it's kind of like, oh, maybe, could that have happened? Could that have happened?
보고 싶었어. 잘 모르겠어. 왠지 네가 날 두고 그냥 확 가버려서 좀 열받았던 것 같아.
미안.
She ends up getting married to this other guy, John McGarvey from Not Fade Away, and then eventually, the other dude is like, I'm coming to New York, so he comes to New York, visits her.
I flew 13 hours to be here. I'm not gonna tell you that you can't see him or something. He's your childhood sweetheart. And it's not like you're gonna run away with him.
They have this whole sort of before sunrise, before sunset, walk around New York, and there's sort of like some tension with who's she gonna pick kind of thing, but it's not even really about that. It's more about missed opportunities, longing, cultural differences, and kind of not having a place. And it was weird. It weirdly spoke to me. It's been a very weird year for me, and I'm not gonna get into it, but it weirdly.
What if you just got into it?
It weirdly like spoke to me, and it's like, I'm not like these characters in this movie. I'm not Korean. For starters, or an immigrant, but something about the alienation of it spoke to me, and it just has this scene at the end that I find kind of enigmatic, but it has a scene at the end that's very heartbreaking, but it's just sort of, in a way, it's not sad, it's not heartbreaking in the way where you're like, oh my god, that made me cry so much. It made me cry for reasons I couldn't quite wrap my head around. But beautiful movie. It's getting on like every top 10 list this year, but and so
Seattle
see
Film
more
Critics nominated for Best Picture this year.
That's right. So anyway, Past Life.
So my first physical media choice this year is Arrow's new 4K of Black Hat.
I still haven't seen Black Hat.
From my guy, Michael Mann. If you know me, if you've listened to
He's a
me
man's man.
on podcasts, if you've watched this show, you know that I love Michael Mann. This is one of his sort of most underappreciated films. And I think that is because the released version of the movie was re-edited at the last minute. Not because of the studio interfering or anything like that, but because Mann decided he wanted to try a different level of pacing for it. However, what makes this release notable is that it contains, on Blu-ray, the theatrical version is in 4K, but the Blu-ray supplement disc has his original director's cut before he recut it for theatrical release.
How different is it?
It's very different. It actually completely chronologically organizes the movie.
Well, great, now I have to watch it again.
Yeah. So there's so the way that the movie starts in the theatrical version is with a nuclear power plant melting down, and then subsequent things happen after that. Originally, that nuclear power plant meltdown was supposed to take place in the middle of the movie, so he completely reorganized the timeline of the film at the last minute.
So if I'm watching it for the first time, what do I do?
Director's cut.
And that's a Hemsworth, right?
It is a Hemsworth. He plays a hacker.
You want to raise me up out of here, solve your trade exchange dilemma, and I get furloughed for a couple of weeks? You kidding me? You have any idea how much progress you're going to make on a strike this complex without someone like me? Zero.
Love it.
The hottest, hunkiest,
the hottest, hunkiest hacker ever. I won't put an argument that it's not a little bit silly, but at the same time, I think the movie is very much in line with Mann's other films.
Yeah.
If you are an acolyte of his like I am, you will love it. Sure. It's a really good opportunity to see this version of the film that not too many people have gotten a chance to check out. It's really awesome. I'm just so glad that it's commercially available at last, because it screened in a couple of theaters right around the time the movie originally came out, and Mann was like, well, no one else is ever going to get to see this, and finally it got licensed, and they were able to put it out. So it's very cool. So if you're a fan of the movie, or if you've never seen it before, check out this new version of Black Hat.
Nice.
I'm excited. I will do that. My second movie is a little bit different than the first one, and it is a movie called Evil Dead Rise. I thought this movie fucking ruled. This movie was great to see in theaters. So this is another Evil Dead movie. It's not like a remake or anything. It's an additional Evil Dead movie. Came out this year, directed by Lee Cronin. I was a little hesitant going in to see this because I really like Evil Dead, obviously, and I did really like the 2013, 2011, 2012 remake. I thought it was cool. But then when I saw trailers of this and it took place in a high-rise apartment, I was like, that's not Evil Dead.
I thought that was cool.
But turns out it was fucking cool. And it deals with a lot to do with motherhood, sisterhood.
Why didn't you tell me, Al? I would have jumped right on a plane to help you work through this.
I called you. Twice.
Just trying to get by.
Choking on eyeballs.
But you can't because your dumb son was trying to be a DJ and ended up reading a record.
Its passages and etchings inked in blood. I seek church approval to translate the spiritual mysteries. Its pages undoubtedly hold. Destroy it! It's called the Book of the Dead for a reason!
And then this movie goes really hard. This movie gets brutal, it's mean, it kills off people you wouldn't think they would ever even kill off. Bloody, there's buckets of blood, there's a fucking, there's a cheese grater scene. This movie is a ton of fun. I definitely recommend it. So yeah, Evil Dead Rise. Check it out.
You don't look so good, Mom.
Nothing a big ol' hug and kiss from you won't fix. Open up now.
What do you have?
I have a movie that has an unwieldy title, but like has stuck with me for a long time. How to Blow Up a Pipeline. It's basically about these activists who decide to blow up a pipeline, and that's kind of the whole movie. And it's basically these young people who are like, we're going to blow up this pipeline, and it kind of runs through how they do it, and each of them, has their own sort of skill set that they bring to it, and their own reasons for wanting to disrupt the production of oil. This one guy, his land is fucked by the pipeline passing through this. One girl's dying from cancer. Her whole family's dying from cancer because the offshore oil rigs are right by where she lives. It's one that I really liked at the time I saw it, but it sort of stuck with me. And I think the thing that is so cool about it is that it is this stand up and fight the power kind of movie, but it's also, and this is why I love it, is that it's also just a really good thriller. I feel like procedural. Yeah, it's very procedural, but the whole time I'm on the edge of my seat going like, oh, what's going to happen? And I think that that's important because we want to entertain people with your movie, and you don't want to just be saying like, we should blow up this pipeline because these bad reasons, which is all very valid. But it's like then it becomes a speech or a lecture or whatever. And this movie is not that. It's very exciting the whole time. It's really great. So How to Blow Up a Pipeline. And it more or less kind of shows you how to do it too. So, anyway, everybody
curious.
Watch this movie and then fucking go blow up some pipelines.
I know it's hard, but you're gonna fix things. And I know your mom knew that.
I don't think I'm gonna fix anything.
Well, you have to. You're an orphan now. It's like origin story shit.
My next one is, if you know me, this is not a surprise. But
These are all checking out, Matt.
Yeah.
This is all.
But I wanted to highlight the new 4K re-release from Vinegar Syndrome of Showgirls. I mean, I don't.
It's Showgirls.
What do I need to tell you about Showgirls?
How good does the new 4K look?
It looks amazing. I had a German 4K. It doesn't look as good. This is a new transfer.
Okay.
It looks incredible. There's tons of really great extras. The only thing that's missing from this set is it doesn't include the You Don't Know Me documentary. But I owned that already from the German. That came with the German release, so I kept that when I replaced this.
It has the commentary?
It has the commentary. It's the David Schmader commentary. David Schmader, by the way, once called me a Showgirls truther.
I think he's right.
He's right. I think that this movie's a masterpiece. Whether or not you agree with me, whether you think it's a camp classic, whether you think it's like so bad it's good, whether you think it's actually great, you will not find a more comprehensive, more good-looking package of this very, very fascinating film audit than this. If you are looking to own a copy of Showgirls, I cannot recommend this version of it more. I think it's about to go out of print. I'm not sure, but it's not. It's getting expensive. I paid a lot for it when it first came out. I think it's gotten more expensive since. However, it is entirely worth it if you're a fan of the film. And I absolutely adore Verhoeven. I adore this movie. I think it's one of his best films. So, by all means, check out this new 4K.
You look like shit.
She looks better than a 10-inch dick, and you know it.
My third is a movie called Showing Up.
Yay!
Directed by Kelly Reichardt, starring, of course, Michelle Williams in one of her many partnerships with Kelly Reichardt. So this movie is just kind of a slice of life movie about this woman who is a sculptor. She's also doing administrative stuff at her mom's art school. This is all filmed at the Oregon College of Art and Craft, which is no longer a functioning school, but was for a very, very long time.
Oh, wow.
So it's a Pacific Northwest movie.
Miss, I'm from Tacoma. We shoot pigeons with BB guns.
And Michelle Williams, she's trying to make her art. There's a big show, but she has to deal with her landlord slash rival slash neighbor who won't turn her hot water on.
Lizzie, I told you you can use my shower.
I want my own water working.
My show's open on Friday. I'll be free to deal with it after that.
I have a show too, I'm just... You're not the only one with a deadline.
The great Hong Chow.
Yeah, Hong Chow.
Omnipresent Hong Chow.
Who is making amazing pieces that is making her question her own art and her own drive and ambition. But it's like, how can she make these things with the environment? There's a really great kind of subplot going on with this pigeon who...
I just watched this last week, so this is really, really tight
cat
for me.
injures. Yeah. She finds it in her bathroom and she literally says,
"Go somewhere else. Go die somewhere else."
Tosses it out the window. Hong Chow finds it and is like, "Look at this poor injured bird. Will you help me take care of it?" And so she's stuck with that and she's like, really has to get this work done.
Working in the studio from home, I got a lot to do.
I have to install at National.
Joe, I have a cat.
She's also kind of dealing with her brother who is kind of losing his mind a little. He's a little delulu.
If you want, I could get you a box set of The Twilight Zone and have that on DVD.
No. That's not the same if I know what's coming on.
And
I believe is John Magaro.
Yeah, from Past Lives.
From Past Lives. The guy from...
Oh, shit, that is him.
Yeah,
huh?
it's the same guy. Anyway, big year for that guy.
Big year for John.
At least
Big
here
year
at
for
Viva.
John. And then also her father, who may or may not be taken advantage of by these kind of like drifter hippies who are just kind of like planting at his house. But he's like, "I'm fine. I'm not doing anything. Like, these guys are cool. We're friends." And then it all kind of culminates at this big art show. So it's very kind of slice of life. What Mumblecore is in 2023 with more of a budget and better actors, which is why I love it. And I love Michelle Williams. This was definitely one of my favorites.
Reichert is one of our best directors right now.
Yeah. And we have a Reichert section in the store now.
Now, unfortunately, this is only available to purchase through the A24 store.
Really?
Yeah, it's not commercial. You can't order this off Amazon. You got to buy it from A24.
There are worse places to give your money than A24.
But do it.
Do it. Because this is great. Don't miss it.
You have to wait. You're out of food. I have to work. I'll go to the store later. Oh, fine. Shut up. God, Ricky, you're ruining my work day.
This is my absolute favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
And it's...
This is your number one?
It's probably...
I mean, I'm not making fun of you. It makes sense.
Well, no, you could make fun of me.
This is your number one,
It's absolutely
loser?
not even,
No, it
it's
makes
not
sense.
even not, it's not even, probably the best movie of the year. I definitely have seen movies where I'm like, well, that's probably better.
Yeah, but it's
no
like,
movie,
what,
no
for
movie
you?
is, no movie belongs, no movie is my heart, and it's, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Of course.
Which is one of the that I've seen the most, and is probably my favorite. So technically, I guess this is my favorite Marvel movie. And at this point, the only Marvel movies I really like are the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Partly because they, even from the first one, they're more or less removed enough from the rest of it, except where the Russo brothers and whomever fucked with my Guardians in the Infinity War Endgame movies. So I'm always like fuck you. And if you've watched all of these episodes, Troy, I'm looking at you, whoever else, you know that I'm a big gunhead. So he's good enough that he is able to basically brush that stuff aside. Anyway, I don't know. This movie is the one that is focused on one of my favorite movie characters of all time, Rocket Raccoon, and it's basically his origin story. And it's heartbreaking and hilarious and has an amazing soundtrack, as you would expect. Apparently it has the most makeup prosthetics of any movie ever. Which makes sense if you see the movie and there's this whole planet of animal people that they go to. I went to see this 3 or 4 times in the theater. I went one day in the afternoon. Like I said, it's been a weird year for me. I went one day in the afternoon just because I was having a rough time. When I was writing the second obituary for the year, I went to see, and I was like, I'm gonna go watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3 again because I want to cry in the middle of the day, and so I went to the movie theater and watched it just so I could have a cry, and it really worked. So anyway, thanks James Gunn. Thanks everybody who made these movies. I'll be watching this again. Well, probably tonight. I don't fucking know. What am I not gonna fucking watch this and go fall asleep? I'm crying right now thinking about it. Anyway.
Do you remember when,
So it's weird. So it's it's not gonna end up on your New York Times top 10 list or anything, but any big top 10 list year. But this is my absolute favorite movie of the year with a bullet.
I mean, you want to talk about a sweet ride? The acceleration will crush your spine. It's got that brand new Fuselix core. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Really? Because I just made that up.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
It's my favorite CGI dog performance of the year.
Wow. Oh, she's so good.
You're a bad dog.
Do not say that to me.
You are. You're a bad dog.
Take that back. Come on, that's not cool. Nebula, did you hear? He called me a bad dog and he refused to take it back.
I don't care, Cosmo.
My last one is something that I just picked up this week, and it is For Strange Reason. It is the new Criterion 4K of Peter Bogdanovich's 1971 film, The Last Picture Show. Now, a lot of us are familiar with The Last Picture Show.
Oh, quit prison. I don't think you did it right anyway.
It's a really great film. That's not why I chose this release. The reason I chose this release was because, as a supplement, it includes the sequel film that Bogdanovich made in the early 90s, also based on a Larry McMurtry novel, which is a sequel to his novel, called Texasville.
This is KAUZ Channel 6, Wichita Falls, Texas.
For a long time, this movie has been kind of not easy to see. And what's more important is that Criterion has included the director's cut of Texasville, which is about 30 minutes longer than the released version, and they have put it in black and white, so that it more aesthetically lines up with the original film.
Dropping that brick on the toilet was a total accident. I was trying to drop it on the little kid taking a shit, but he moved too quick.
I don't see why you sent us here in the first place. These people are all Jesus freaks.
And I watched this for the first time this morning.
Whoa.
And it was incredible. It's so good. It's so much more bittersweet, more comical, more adult. It's not about how these people are trapped in this miserable small town and sort of the brutal honesty that was presented to you in Last Picture Show. The characters are much older. They're all grown up now.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Jay-Z, I'm Dwayne Jackson. We went together in high school for a while.
Dwayne, Lord, what a place to run into an old boyfriend. You live in a boat now or what?
They're contending with different issues. It's a really, really great movie. I am surprised that somehow Texasville eluded me after so many years. I'm going to talk about Texasville on the next Viva as my pick.
Okay.
But I just wanted to highlight that that was why I think that this is one of the most notable releases of the year.
Hi, Daddy.
If you haven't seen The Last Picture Show, there's no better time to watch it than now. And if you haven't seen Texasville and love The Last Picture Show, I assure you, you're in for a good time. Make sure you only watch the long director's cut, black and white version that's included on this disc.
Okay.
Don't stream it anywhere else if you can. I don't know if you can, but don't watch the color version. Don't watch the short version. Watch this. It's really, really, really good.
There you go.
You've convinced me.
Let's just bomb OPEC.
Napalm it or use H-bombs?
Well, I don't know if you can buy an H-bomb. Why couldn't you buy one? It's still free country, ain't it? Do you think women want it more than men?
Now we are going to do our top 3 discoveries, which is stuff we've watched this year that we really like. Doesn't have to be from this year at all.
I found something.
What is it?
My first movie, you guys may remember me talking about this movie, Hysterical Blindness.
Dude, I love this movie. I watched it after you recommended it.
This movie is so good. Mira Nair, 2002, starring Uma Thurman, Juliette Lewis, and Gina Rollins. And it takes place in 1980s New Jersey. And Uma Thurman and Juliette Lewis are just BFFs, hanging out at bars, trying to get guys. And it's just the coolest, most like real naturalistic, but also fantastic fashion and cool looking movie ever. Great movie about best friendship. Gina Rollins is amazing in it as a woman trying to find love in her late age and figuring out what's important. It's something that I didn't even know about for a long time, and then when I picked this up, I was like, this movie is like made for me. Fantastic film, Hysterical Blindness. Check it out if you haven't.
What's that for? I owe you a hairspray.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Next.
Yeah, keep going.
A similar 80s vibe. Both of these movies have really good like denim in it. This one is 1983's Silkwood by Mike Nichols, who we've talked about this movie on the show.
Tremendous movie.
It's starring Meryl Streep, Cher, and Kurt Russell.
Yep.
Curdy Russ, with a scene that will forever be burned in my memory of him just pouring a Coors on his hot, sweaty, shirtless body.
You know, plutonium and all.
Because he doesn't know how to end an argument. They are in Oklahoma. They work at a nuclear plant. And Meryl Streep begins exposing falsified reports.
Excuse me. There's just one more thing. I work in metallography, you know, and x-rays. And sometimes well, quite frankly, we have negatives altered.
And other misinformation that is harming her and her coworkers. She ends up being targeted. This is based on a true story of Karen Silkwood. Just overall amazing film. It covers everything from the kind of like conspiracy theory movies that you're looking for to just relationship dynamics between her and Kurt and her and Cher. And it's just a fucking cool movie. So check out Silkwood.
Yep.
Thelma, your hair looks different.
You gave my daughter my good wig. Her hair's falling out.
My third one is another movie about a badass woman.
A little different.
Female prisoner number 701, Scorpion. This movie, Shunya Ito, 1972. When I saw this movie, as you guys may have remembered from when I talked about it, I was like, what the fuck, why haven't I seen this movie before? Because this is a gorgeous, gorgeous film about a woman just beating the shit and killing the shit out of people after going through tremendous trauma. Because men suck. And this movie looks amazing.
Checks out.
It's gorgeous. It's bloody. It's just visually insane. It's just all about revenge. You must check this out if you haven't already.
Yeah. I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
So I haven't talked about any of these on the show because I haven't been on the show. My first one is the movie called The Last Run, which is this amazing car chase action crime movie from the 70s with one of George C. Scott's best performances, I think. I watched this actually because Tarantino and Roger Avery talked about this on the Video Archives podcast. But it's weird because I watched this and was like, man, this movie is so awesome. I can't believe it's so underseen. I mean, it's even just, all we have it on is like this Warner Archives DVD-R. And this movie is one of those that deserves like a fucking deluxe edition Blu-ray 4K or whatever. It's so cool. It has some car chases that rival all the, the classic ones from the same period, from Bullet or French Connection or whatever, I think. Basically, George C. Scott is a retired driver, getaway driver who's sort of roped into driving this guy across Italy to get to France to escape some other criminals or whatever.
9 years? You haven't been on a job in 9 years?
That's right.
You know what's happened in 9 years, old man? They've gone to the moon.
It's not my kind of driving.
It's shot by Sven Nykvist, who shot all of Bergman's movies. The one thing about this is, I'm not going to spoil anything, it's one of the few movies I've seen that has a perfect ending. It has this, there's this like button at the end that is just like, where I was like, fucking please just end right now. And it does this thing and goes, and it's like, fuck man, that was awesome.
Dude, that
and
rarely happens when you want something to end at the perfect moment.
Yeah, it was so good. Anyway, it's just a great fucking tough guy movie. If you like George C. Scott, which you should, it's fucking amazing. And this movie made me, somehow I ran into a video on YouTube that was like, actors, stars you never knew about, and it had this thing that was like this whole video about George C. Scott, and it was somebody had made like a whole video essay about how like, who's this guy George C. Scott that I'm just hearing about, and I was like, fuck off. And it made me so mad at like a whole generation of people. And anyway, be better, young people who are learning about movies. That's all. Don't not know who George C. Scott is, but don't make a video assuming nobody knows who George C. Scott is.
Did you know that people made movies before Christopher Nolan made movies?
No, they did not.
You are very odd. It happens.
What was the occasion? Was it your birthday? Oh my.
Next pick, also a road movie, Powwow Highway. Never seen this before. I watched this not too long ago. And fucking awesome movie about this guy, A. Martinez and Gary Farmer, and they end up having to go on a road trip from one of the reservations on Montana down to New Mexico.
But whose car is this, man?
This is Protector, the war pony.
To get one of their sisters out of jail there. And she's there sort of for reasons that are political.
What's that, Mom?
Yeah, what is it, Mom? Domestic or imported?
You must have put that there.
It has an amazing performance by Gary Farmer, who most people will remember as Nobody from Dead Man. But this was, I think, his first movie, and he's just awesome. And it's basically sort of a buddy movie, sort of a road movie. It's just very charming, very, very funny. It's a drama technically, but it's really funny. It's sort of about these guys as they're on the road. They have a destination, but, you know, learning about who they are and about their culture. And, you know, in a year with, like, Killers of the Flower Moon and, you know, Reservation Dogs ending and all this, it sort of is like, feels like now's the time for Powwow Highway. Yeah, anyway, check it out.
A goddamn huge hairy spider! Squash the mother. No! Shit!
And my third one is Roadrunner, a film about Anthony Bourdain. He kind of became, weirdly, I don't know, spirit animals, like a term I'm not supposed to use or whatever, but he became sort of a guide for me this year, even though, like, you know, we all know how it ended with him, and this documentary goes into that, of course.
You're probably going to find out about it anyway, so here's a little preemptive truth-telling. There's no happy ending.
He committed suicide, the fucking asshole.
I read Kitchen Confidential earlier this year, and I loved it, and then I started watching his show, and just watching him travel and, you know, experience new things and different cultures, and I think that it's a thing that a lot of people, I've been traveling around a lot, and I think it's like one of those things that people don't do. You know, everybody becomes sort of locked into their thing, and you, for whatever reason, you can or can't. He's lucky enough that he wrote a book everybody liked that he didn't think anybody would like, and then was a guy that went like, be on TV, and he's like, I'm not a guy who should be on TV.
Oh, wow. Spectacular.
I mean, Chris and I went back to the hotel and basically looked at each other and said, like,
we're fucked.
And he kind of wasn't at first, but then he became a guy who, like, yeah, this is a great guy to be on TV. He had a great spirit, and it's, you know, it's one of those tragedies where you're just like, you know, well, you know, you never know everything about somebody. This movie was really good, but made me sad, but also reminded me, like, yeah, be more like him, you know, fucking experience shit.
How did you feel about the AI voiceover?
Oh, was that AI voiceover?
Yeah, it's AI.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't tell, I guess. I mean, I don't like that, I guess, but I didn't know.
Couldn't they just find a person?
Well, they.
Wait, it's his voice. They made it AI.
Oh, like it's like AI, like Anthony Bourdain's. Like it's not him like reading that stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's like they used his voice to sample it, but it's an AI like reading his words.
You know, I didn't know that. I assumed some of it was from like, you know, books on tape and shit.
No, it's all AI stuff.
Oh, interesting. Well, you know, I'm not a fan of that.
I mean, it's his words, but it's not necessarily stuff that he recorded.
Right. Well, which is weird because he did record thousands of hours of TV. Well, I hate this movie. No, just kidding. I still love this movie. It's really good. It's a tribute to a man who did a lot of good, and you know, there you go, Roadrunner.
There are, it turns out, a million ways to say "suck my dick," and like all great performances, it's about timing, tone, and delivery, kind of like cooking.
My first pick is kind of a weird one. I watched a documentary that I didn't even know about that popped up on some streaming service that I subscribed to, and it was a documentary about the works of the filmmaker Alan Pakula, who made The Parallax View, All the President's Men, Clute, all these great, you know, he's sort of synonymous with the 70s paranoid thriller.
The Devil's Own.
The Devil's Own, yes, exactly. Consenting Adults, a terrible film. Anyway, he also made a couple of comedies, and this is one of them, and it's called Starting Over.
You think what we have together is blocking you from something.
And it was also written by James L. Brooks.
Oh.
It was one of his first screenplays. And Burt Reynolds plays a recent divorcee.
Burt.
His ex-wife is Candice Bergen. And
Candice.
I mean, if there's one thing that I didn't expect today, it's that the two of us would end up in bed.
Not this time, babe.
they've been married for a long time, and now he is single, and he is sort of starting his life over again. Anyone who's been through a breakup after a really long-term relationship will relate to a lot of the situations in this.
Misty watercolored memories
How do I resolve my feelings about my ex-partner, especially if you're the one who was broken up with, you know? And then what are my priorities? Do I want to find a new partner? What do I want from a new partner? Have I learned enough about myself to even start to figure out how to be with a new person? All this stuff. It's really funny and charming. It's definitely dated. You know, I would not call this a feminist film by any stretch of the imagination. He ends up dating a new partner, Jill Clayburgh.
Get the fuck away from me! I've got a knife! I'll cut your fucking balls off, so help me!
Another great actress in her own right. This is a really, really cool, funny movie. It's definitely a little bit thorny.
His mustache?
I know, he has no mustache in it.
I don't like it.
It's a little bit thorny, it's a little bit funny, it's a little bit dated, but I think it's a really cool, interesting artifact, and it will speak to anybody who's been through a really tough breakup.
Does anyone have a Valium?
A movie I had not heard of until very recently. It's called T.R. Baskin. And it was written by Peter Hyams, who is mostly known as a director of action films, and directed by Herbert Ross, who did like Steel Magnolias and stuff like this. It also stars Candice Bergen, and she plays a young woman who comes from Ohio and moves to Chicago to just seek her fortune.
This is your bedroom. I think 2 bedrooms is mandatory, if you know what I mean. Listen, what you do is your own business, if you know what I mean.
She gets a job at a big kind of faceless corporation. She gets set up on dates with shitty men.
How did you become a builder?
It was easy. My father owns the business.
She is obviously a very smart, very articulate, relatively modern woman for the time. I think this is made in 1971. She is articulating herself in a way that was probably relatively novel, especially in mainstream films at the time. It's a really gritty kind of version of that. It's not a very glamorous or beautiful movie to look at. It's just about this young woman who is trying to figure out who she is. And for a movie written and directed by men, it's relatively well realized for that time period. And also co-stars James Caan and Peter Boyle.
Nice.
This is really cool. I had never heard of this.
Did it have a release before that Blu-ray, or is this first?
I think it had been on DVD or maybe VHS a long time ago. I was totally unfamiliar with it. It's very cool. I really enjoyed this.
I edit and publish children's books for the public school systems.
What do you edit in children's books?
I erase all the penises from the illustrations.
Oh, it's a surprise Christmas movie?
I thought we were going to do holiday picks this week.
Yeah.
So I went on a quest to find a new Christmas movie to me.
Oh, I love that you did that.
And I sifted through a lot of like lists and recommendations and stuff, and nothing was screaming out to me. But I finally found one, and I threw it on as a complete Hail Mary. And it turned out to be great.
Oh, I love that.
It's 1952's The Holly and the Ivy. This is a really, really simply beautiful family film. It's British from the 1950s, so it is definitely very patrician and, you know, certainly retrograde in what you might call its family dynamics and its sexual politics. However, it's a really, really sweet film about just the solid foundations of family and what that provides for you psychically, emotionally. It's about a family. They're all grown children of a parson, and they're all gathering at the family house for Christmas. There's Jenny, who wants to be married to her boyfriend, but can't marry him because he is moving away overseas for 5 years to take a job, and she needs to stay behind to take care of the father, the parson.
In my opinion, parents have no right to batten on their children like that.
No one else can take up that responsibility for her, so she may have to give up her relationship in order to take care of this family obligation. There's Denholm Elliott, Marcus Brody.
Does anyone here speak English?
Very young in this movie, who is an army officer, and he is an atheist, so he is at odds with his father too.
How did you fix it? Well, I went to see the Major and pitched a tale. That's one small advantage of being Irish. I told him me mother had died, me father's getting old, and me little sister. Oh, you want to see me little sister. She's wonderful. She's bravely struggling to keep things going, and she wants us all home this year because maybe it's the last Christmas.
And then there is young Margaret, who is, I forget who plays her, but she kind of is a specter over this movie for the first half of it. She's kind of like a fashionista. She writes articles for a newspaper in London, and no one's really sure if she's going to show up. And then it turns out when she finally does appear that she has an entire recent history that none of the other family members know about. And it's all about how these children feel that they can't self-actualize because they're afraid of how their father, the parson, is going to react to them, because they perceive him as being a rigid man of the cloth as opposed to their father. Mm-hmm. This is 80 minutes of pure selflessness and raw emotion. Wow. It is so good. I was completely blown away by it. I've never seen anything quite like this, especially from this time period. It's very David Lean-esque. If you've ever seen any of his like early sort of pre-epic films, it has very much that kind of emotional register. I had never heard of it until a few days ago, and I was really, really nuked by it. I thought it was terrific. Ralph Richardson plays the parson, the father, if you're familiar with him at all. This is really, really, really cool. Cool. Yeah, the Halloween and the Ivy, check this out if you haven't. This has suddenly entered my Christmas movie rotation.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good job. That's a discovery.
All the sermons in the earth, the one on Christmas morning I dislike. Nobody wants to hear you. They're all fidgeting in their pews, longing to be back home, basting the Christmas goose.
For our dog movie, we're doing a Christmas-themed dog movie.
A shorty but a goodie.
A shorty but a goodie, like a small but a very important, just like the lead character of this movie. This movie is called Olive, the Other Reindeer.
One of the greatest puns of all time.
1999. This is Drew's Never Been Kissed era, her Ever After, her Charlie's Angels era. She voices Olive, and Olive is a little dog who loves Christmas. And what I find really charming about this movie is Drew Barrymore has 2 songs, and she's not a good singer, and I love it so much. She's off key. She's not really on the beat, but it kind of brings the charm because it's this little dog singing about how much this dog loves Christmas.
But I've always loved Christmas, the best of them all.
It's weird animation though.
It's of its time. It's sort of the Flash animation style from the time period.
But it's like, is this based on a book?
It's based on a book.
Because it's like the art style of the book.
Yeah,
It's sort of cutouts almost or whatever.
Olive loves Christmas.
And she keeps hearing on the radio
that Santa might be canceling Christmas because Blitzen
broke his leg.
Oh no!
Santa had this to say.
Ho, ho, ho. I'm not sure if I'll have to cancel, but it doesn't look good. Maybe somehow we'll make do with Olive the Other Reindeer.
Her pet flea says,
No, he said Olive, the other reindeer. I heard him. Santa needs you to be the replacement reindeer.
You're the other reindeer. Before that happens, however, we are introduced to her friend and local con man, Martini, the penguin, voiced by Joey Pants.
Joey Pants.
Genuine Rolex, $10.
I didn't know Rolex had 3 X's.
Typographical error, factory seconds.
But then she buys one anyways because she's a good friend, and she wears it through the entire movie. She wears this fake Rolex, sometimes looking at it and sighing because it's not working. Her owner, Tim, wishes she would act more like a dog.
How are your dog chores coming? Did you bury any bones today?
No, Tim.
Chase any cars or cats?
Afraid not.
Did you even make a token attempt to tear up any flower beds?
But she just wants to be his best friend.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, like, chew a slipper, like, chase the mailman. And she's like, I just, like...
I just want to hang out.
I just want to hang out. The flea overhears wrong.
We can still have Christmas. Come on in the house. I'm lighting the Yule log, and there's a space for you.
You can't kill my Christmas. Get out of this house. I'm getting a new dog, and I'm replacing you.
And she's like, well, fuck it. She doesn't say that, but she's like, well, fuck it. I guess I am gonna go try to save Christmas.
Save Christmas.
Santa.
Wow.
So this movie is about her journey. There's a bad mailman who hates Christmas, and he is so excited that Christmas is canceled because that means he doesn't have to
Deliver all his
the
packages. He hates making the mail happen.
He even has a song.
Christmas, bah, bug and hum. One flimsy little Christmas card. Surely that can't be too hard, but multiply it a billionfold and see why Christmas leaves me cold.
The songs in this are like pretty good.
They're pretty good.
He's been making fake letters to Santa saying how much Santa sucks.
It's so mean.
And he's like, lose some weight, get a real job in some of the letters.
That's very Matt Groening. Like the sort of darker, cynical parts of this are very familiar from, if you've read like his comic strips, like Life in Hell and stuff, it's very familiar.
He tries arresting her for mail fraud, even though he's a mailman, he can't really arrest her. But Martini ends up, he almost like skips town, Martini, and then he's like, no, I gotta help Olive. So he gets roped into this adventure as well.
You owe me for those pens.
They're on a bus towards the North Pole.
Mm-hmm. Because you can take a bus there.
Tim Meadows is the bus driver. His name is Richard Stans.
It happens all the time. I used to think the Pledge of Allegiance was about me, Richard Stans.
It's not?
Which is really funny.
For Richard Stans.
For Richard Stans. They get to the Arctic Junction.
Yes.
Where there's a bar, restaurant, and just like the bus station that takes you to the North Pole. This is where they get on the next bus. But the mailman also is there. He's followed them, and he dresses up as Flo, the waitress.
What'll you have?
The bone. Dressing on the side, please.
I'll try the deep-fried candy canes.
The small dead fish sampler.
She gets kidnapped briefly by the mailman, finds a letter addressed to her from Deus Ex Machina.
Have you ever heard of Deus Ex Machina?
Denise who?
Look it up.
It's a nail file to get out of the truck. And she goes back to the bar, and they end up getting bullied by these reindeer that are in the bar. And the main reindeer is Michael Stipe from REM.
You don't look like no reindeer to me, mutt.
Well, I am, and my name's Olive.
Can you fly?
Oh, the song that the REM song is fucking killer.
Ends up singing an REM song about how these rough and tumble bar guys aren't all that bad.
Oh.
They actually do want to save Christmas.
It's a really good song.
It's good.
When you walked in, may I be frank, of course we were suspicious. It seemed you were playing a nasty prank, that's why we got malicious. But we're not so bad, we're not so fearful.
They meet this guy named Round John Virgin.
Like in the Silent Night song.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And Ed Asner's Santa, of course.
Yes.
And Ed Asner has played Santa. I was just looking up. No, in like 4 or 5 different things.
He's a good Santa.
No, I'm not kidding. Because I know him from regular show. He played Santa, but he's been Santa in like a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
One of the dog movies we did, I believe he played Santa.
Oh yeah.
One of the movies we talked Santa's dog or something, where like with the pit bull or whatever. It's funny that Ed Asner has played Santa in like a lot. Like one person saw him in something and we're like, just like Ed Asner type. Let's do Ed Asner.
Cleared for takeoff on 22 left.
Punch it, boys!
I like the part where Olive finally tries to break into Santa's compound, and Martini has to trick the security guard elf by telling him that he's won a watch.
Oh, we'll send a man over right away, sir.
Good.
It'll be a penguin, actually.
A penguin?
Oh, he'll have it working in no time.
And I'll be here till 6.
All right, then. Goodbye.
But I need you to turn off the security fence so that Olive can dig under the fence and get in. That whole thing was amazing.
Throughout the entire movie, we end up realizing that in order to be this reindeer she always wanted to be, she has to tap into her dog instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's scent, whether it's digging under the fence, she has to actually like get more in touch with her own identity to save Christmas, and just by being herself. So anyways, she basically ends up, joining the herd of reindeer in place of Blitzen, and they all can fly, and she's kind of like, like when you lower a dog down into a little pool, and they're like, she's like that, only in the air.
And all the reindeer and Santa love how good she was at it.
She's so good, and it was foggy, and she used her dog scent to lead them back to the North Pole by smelling the gingerbread cookies that Mrs. Claus was baking. Olive does visit Godzilla in Tokyo. They do give the Hunchback of Notre Dame a back scratcher, among other things.
If you've got the Christmas spirit, let nothing you dismay. You don't need springs or wings or strings to fly on Christmas Day.
So let Olive's tale remind you.
And once they get back, they give her own little headband with reindeer ears.
It's so cute.
And then she goes home and makes up with Tim, and Tim's like, you know what? I love you just the way you are.
I'm sorry I was mean to you.
I'm sorry I was so mean. And she's like, here are the slippers I bought you. I didn't chew them. But then she licks his face because she's a dog, and he's like, oh my God, thanks. And it's just so sweet. You guys, it's sweet. It's really funny still. It's 45 minutes long.
A millennial classic, really.
A millennial classic.
I had seen it when I was young, but
you should take this home.
It didn't really.
I've seen it. I just haven't seen it since like 2001.
This didn't mean anything to me when I was younger because I was still in my 20s and sort of didn't mean anything to me.
So I do remember watching this when I was younger because this came out in '99, so I was around 9 or 10 when this came out.
Okay.
So I did like it, but it means more to me now that I know who these people are that made it and who are in it.
Yeah.
And it's just a really great one. I feel like watch it if you have it. If you have kids, this is your kids are gonna love this movie too, and you're gonna have a nice time watching this with them as well.
Yeah, this won't hurt you.
No,
this is not
you'll
excruciating at all.
enjoy
This is actually really good.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
How many paws?
I'm just gonna go ahead and give it 4 paws because
I feel like 4 paws.
It's the Christmas.
It's the Christmas spirit. 4 paws. Like you can't go wrong with this.
You really can't. It's so good.
If it was 90 minutes long, it would still get 4 paws. But it's only 45 minutes. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So all of the other reindeer.
What are we doing next?
Clever and fun.
Yep.
You have picked that.
This is one that I've been wanting to do for a while.
introduced
Yeah.
To us.
This is a Mongolian film.
Have you seen it yet?
I have.
Okay.
I saw it many years ago when it first came out, and I really liked it. And it just sort of popped into my head of like, we should do this again. And it's called Cave of the Yellow Dog. It is about a Mongolian family. They're nomadic. They find a cute puppy.
I'm in.
Hijinks ensue.
I'm in. I am in. That'll be our first dog movie of the new year.
Yep.
Very exciting.
Don't.
We can just do it. Do it right. And it won't knock anything over.
Thanks for helping me out there, Olive. Here, Merry Christmas.
Hey, thank you.
$9.
All right, that was episode 69.
69.
In the bag, in the Santa sack, if you will.
Maybe the nicest bag.
Santa sack. 69 in Santa sack.
I think we killed it.
We killed it. We gave you guys so many between the mailbag and our recommendations.
Yeah.
Pretty sure there's a lot of good.
If there's such a thing as
there.
too many recommendations,
we did it.
Yeah,
we did it.
Yeah.
Please donate to us, our fundraiser.
Yeah.
If you love physical media, if you love the store,
Please hit that like and subscribe.
Do that. Comment and like the video, I guess. Follow us on all the social medias at Physical Viva. We didn't, in the mailbag, we didn't tell you guys how to mailbag us, but it's viva@scarecrow.com or Scarecrow Video, 5030 Roosevelt Way, Northeast, Seattle, Washington, 98105. Or you can come into the store.
Just drop it off.
Drop it off. You can also rent by mail if you don't live anywhere near us, but would still like to experience some of the Scarecrow magic.
Yep.
And
Beautiful.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Viva Physical Media 69.
Goodbye. See you next year.
Happy holidays.
Read some
Yeah,
ET,
read to
the
us.
storybook. The spaceship floated gently, anchored by a beam of lavender light to the earth below.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Oh, she had a clear sense of mission. Cares deeply about Christmas. Close friend of mine for years. Not housebroken, not to my knowledge.
She is housebroken.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.